Welcome back to Qualified Dropouts, episode 21. If y'all didn't know who we are, fucking sweatshirt stuck in my ass. That's weird. If you didn't know who we are, my name is Asher, and this is my
name's Ian as well. Don't even do it.
We have a different introduction every time. But yeah, I'm the owner of Better Than Before. He's the owner of Embrace the Journey. We dropped out of college, and we guys teach you the lessons we have learned with dropping out and showing you guys that it is possible without a college degree
To make money and live a very happy life.
Mm-hmm.
And enough money to, live a happy life. We like to teach the lessons we've learned throughout the process, what's going on currently, and just bring up some really good topics and maybe limiting beliefs that either you guys have or that we used to have or even currently. Sometimes I feel like I still have limiting beliefs on how much I can make and just like how fast I'll make it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But today is a good topic.
Yeah, so first we wanted to start it off with a question. What would you rather have? We're going to play Would You Rather. Would you rather have $100,000 and
a year? Okay.
Yeah, $100,000 a year, and let's give them a little. Let's give them 3 weeks of vacation.
Okay.
All right, $100,000 a year. So, you know what? Actually, no. 100,000. That's poor shit. 200,000. Let's say 200,000. $200,000 a year, and 3 weeks of vacation. All right. So, and if you live in America, if you don't live in like fucking Cali or New York City, $200,000 a year. Everything that you want is basically free at that point. Now, obviously, you're not going to be driving Lamborghinis and shit like that. But everything that like you really, really need, you're not really going to need to worry about money. So $200,000 a year, 3 weeks of vacation, or would you rather have $80,000 a year, but you have location freedom and you also have
just freedom whenever,
just time freedom.
You only work for yourself. You wake up. You don't know, like you're just living your day and that's it.
Yeah. And the reason why this came up is because me and Ian were talking, and obviously we like to keep you guys like in touch with kind of like how we're doing on the totem pole when it comes to like, I guess like kind of finances a little bit. But obviously me and Ian are not making seven figures yet. But we were thinking the other day, we're really like ahead of a lot of people because a lot of people don't have like the time freedom aspect of it. So it sparked into our mind. We were like, I wonder what people would rather have, like $100,000 in 3 weeks of vacation, or this was or $60,000 and you can do whatever the fuck you want when you want. Now, obviously, since me and Ian are in this situation, we would way rather have time freedom and do whatever you want. But that's just the first question we wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah, I think it's a really good topic because it's like, yeah, you could be making like you said, $200K, which is a lot of money. I mean, it's a good per year. Like you can easily supply a family, live a very like generic life, but you then, I mean, in order for you to go vacation and actually spend that money, you have to ask for it off, or you have to wait for certain times of the year, or you may miss family events because you have to work, and you may miss like certain parts of life just because you weren't able to get out of it. And I think, like, for me, I'd rather take the less amount of money and have the freedom, because that just like overall, like I don't want Sunday to come around and be like, damn, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to work at 8. Yeah. Like I had to drive to work and go sit in office for 8 hours, or not even an office, even just a fact, wherever it is, even if you were a doctor at that point, or it's like I have to go and sit and sell my time for that money.
Yeah.
So like when I sell my time, I don't have that freedom in that time. I just am doing a job. I don't know.
It almost feels like
doesn't feel like freedom to me.
Yeah, it almost feels like it kind of just, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, it kind of just feels like it set in when we moved here. That like, oh wow, like I can really just wake up whenever the fuck I feel like, and I'm still gonna get all my shit done. At the old place, it almost felt like I was in like a boot camp almost, like a trial run period.
Yeah, I was like, I have to wake up at this time.
It's 1 year in. I really got to be on a very, very, very strict schedule because I guess I was still kind of, my mind was still programmed in a way where it's like, almost like I'm still in college and like I still have to get my shit done and this and that, but like you can do whatever the fuck you want. But the reason why we bring this up is because like In my opinion, it's honestly modern day slavery. Because if you really think about it, even the people who get paid the highest amount, if we take NBA players, there's still someone telling them what to do. They may have all the money in the world, but they still have someone telling them what to do. And I actually used to kind of want to play a professional sport. I think it would be cool. But now that I'm in the position I'm in now, I'm like, wait, I would not want someone to tell me what the fuck to do. That sounds terrible.
For me, though, when it comes to sports, that's like that's cool to me.
Yeah.
I think I would probably rather be a professional player than.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like that's pretty sick. Like that, I mean, you can become pretty huge, and like sports are. I grew up playing like I'm talking. I played every sport you think of: basketball, baseball, like very competitively too. It wasn't like I just played and did like a rec league. I was like very competitive in soccer. I was very competitive in baseball. Played travel baseball. The only sport that I kind of like didn't really play super competitively in was like tennis. But I played tennis. I rode horses. Like I played all school sports. Was on comp teams outside of it, and to me, that's just like it was just fun. It was just like. Sports are just a different level, I think, than a job. It's not really a job. You're literally having fun and doing an activity. It's like working out. Like our sport is working out. So it's like, to me, that would reflect to the same way. Now, if I were to make the same amount and be like a lawyer, fuck, no.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. Like, I'm not. That doesn't seem fun to me. Sit in court and no, that's just horrible. So, no, I think definitely being a professional player would be cool. But
yeah,
I do believe that like time and freedom is just so valuable. It's more valuable than any amount of money you'll make. I mean, I saw this one video. This guy was like, okay, I have a question for you. Would you rather, or no, how do you word it? He was like, I will give you $10 million right now, but you die tomorrow. Would you take it? And then the person's like, no, I wouldn't. Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous. He's like, then why? You obviously value your life more than the $10 million, so why would you waste another minute doing anything else? So it's like, puts in a lot of perspective of like, time is so valuable to the point where if like, hey, you're going to run out of time or you can have this amount of money, like what's more valuable? It's like time. So when it comes to like doing anything in life, you should put on that factor. I don't know.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. Fuck. It was something really important too. But yeah, about the sports thing, I actually when I was younger I did want to play like professional sports, but now that I'm in the position I'm in now, I just don't know if I would want somebody telling me to be at this practice at this time. I know it's different cuz it's like, yeah, it's fun, like you grew up doing it and this and that, but it's like, damn. I don't really know if I would.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. But
interesting.
And then to go on the point with the lawyer thing, for me, when people, because I get in a decent amount of like, not like arguments, but like people trying to tell me that like college is right when obviously like I'm completely all against college.
Actually.
But
Asher is very against college.
Yeah, and they're like, well, what about like doctors and lawyers? And I'm like, yeah, we need doctors and lawyers, but what, you going to be a doctor or lawyer? Well, no. It's like, okay, well then why do you give a shit? And it's like even with the doctors and lawyers, yeah, sure. Tell me I'm going to make $1 million as a doctor. I'm still not going to do it. Because I know the amount of hours they work. I know how much time they spend with their family. Fucking nothing. They literally don't have really much of a break ever. They still have to go into work at least 8 to 10 hours a day. So it's like, what? I don't know. What's the saying? It's like you give someone a salary for them to not chase their dreams, for them to be comfortable or something like that. I forgot. It was Fuck, who was it that said that? It was that old guy with the mustache.
That narrows it down to like every entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, the time is like so valuable, and I think what switched for us is we started realizing like that time, like I don't know what switched, but we're like, man, like time is actually very valuable. I was so used to working a job. I was so used to like having to go to college. I was like brainwashed in a way of like following a certain pattern where it's like, it's normal to not have time to do anything. It's normal for you to be like, I have to check in my work to do something. It's normal to say I have to miss out on family events. I have to miss out on this because of work or because I have a responsibility. And it's like, yeah, that's like, you know, it's great that you have responsibilities and you're disciplined, but if you have the option to not do that,
yeah,
why would you not want to do that? And I think we just like to speak to the people who, if you want to go to college because you have a specific thing that you want to do in a field and you're like, you're super passionate about it and you're structure, you like structure and you like being told what to do and you like just being really, really like certain and safe, like college is great. Go ahead, do it 100%. But if you're somebody who's just going to college because you feel like you have to like please somebody or you feel like you have to, or you really want to seek on how to achieve some type of other success outside of college, you don't need it because you don't like the time that goes into it. Like that's who we try to preach to, because like there is a way, and that's something that we found was like time is more valuable than the amount of money you make. Eventually, if you work and you utilize time properly, you will make endless amounts of money if you learn skills and everything like that. But I think that's just like who we try to speak to. We don't try to disregard and say I don't try to say college, it's just 100% a scam in society. I think knowledge is super important in certain aspects, but
that's like the only part me and Ian will ever disagree on is I think college is 100% a scam.
Yeah.
Except for doctors, because I'm not going to have a doctor that doesn't go to fucking school to be a doctor. Like I would even like debate, I would almost maybe take a lawyer that knows his shit up and down compared to someone with a degree in law school. Like, shit, that one guy Mason was talking about, I don't think he went to law school.
No, it is
and
crazy.
Now he runs a whole business, and it's like, I don't know, but a doctor, that's like kind of like the one thing I'm like, I kind of need you to go through.
Well, yeah, you have to know the science behind everything. You have to understand how the body works. You know, just like, no, I mean, I do think school can be good. For a lot of people, but I think also a lot of people get pressured feeling like they have to, and it's like it depends on your mentality and where you stand. And I think you have to also like don't not go to school because you're just lazy and you don't want to, like, you're like, I just don't want to do anything challenging in my life. That's a loser. And your excuse is, well, school's a scam, so I'm not going to go. And it's like, okay, you can admit that, but don't be a low quality life person. Like, make a name for yourself, make money, raise a family, like be a man. Don't just like fucking go out, like work a serving job and your whole thing is, hey, let's go. You guys ready for drinks on Friday and Saturday? Like that's all you look forward to is every weekend. And the next, you're 50 or 60 years old working a server job and you're going to have to rely on Social Security of fucking $1,500 a month or something like that from 65 till the day you die. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You lived just a very not even low life that it's just, there's nothing fruitful about it. You didn't do anything. You didn't impact anybody else. You didn't create relationships. You just drank your life away, or you just partied and looked forward to these immediate gratifications every weekend. And it's like, no, don't do that. Don't be a loser.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite what we're trying to say here. College is a scam. Boom. We already know that. But it's what you're going to do with the time now that you've bought all that back. Yeah. If you're going to go serve at some serving job and do that 5-6 days a week and then fuck off the rest of the 2 days you're not working, well, then have fun being a loser for a couple years. But the thing is, if you work at that serving job and then, put in 2 hours after work and then also put in hours on the days you don't work, well, then you're going to quickly soon realize that there's a lot of money to be made out in the world and you don't really need college. And it's funny because I was talking to you about this. I think the statistic is like 91.6% of money is online or digital. And and this is what blows my mind. 90% of money is digital, online. But in college, in business class, they don't teach you how to make money digitally. That is what is mind-blowing to me. Like, that right there should tell you all you need to know about school. They literally teach you the opposite of how to make money. It's crazy to me. Like, that in itself just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I've already told this story once, but I think I told you it too. The girl that was it was my first entrepreneurship class. Walked in, 40-year-old woman, which is fine. I'm not going to sit here and say girls can't be entrepreneurs. We literally know a really successful one. Girls can be extremely good entrepreneurs. Anyways, like 42, 43-year-old woman, blonde. She sits there. She's like, hey, guys, how you doing? Syllabus, blah, blah, blah. We go through it. And we had questions for her. We were like, what'd you do? And she was like, well, in my late 20s, I owned a candle business. And we were like, oh, no way. Like, how much did you make? Like, were you loaded? And she was like, oh, well, I actually never turned a profit because I wanted to teach. And that was the semester. I'm like, I can't do this. I literally can't do this. And I was sitting there. I'm like, and I finished out the semester. I called my mom about it. I'm like, Mom, I'm learning from a fucking dweeb who doesn't even know how to make money. Why am I doing this? So I finished the semester. But anyways, I was sitting there and I was like, we're learning from someone who doesn't know how to make money. We are literally learning from someone who hasn't turned a profit in business yet. She's teaching me how to start my own business. And I'm like, what? And, well, it's a whole nother story. They don't really teach you anything about entrepreneurship in college. The best way to learn entrepreneurship is if you literally go out there, start your business, and get fucked. That's it. That's how you start entrepreneurship. You go out, try and start a business, you get fucked, you realize that, like, oh shit, this is hard, then you keep going.
You know what's weird to me, though? You know what's really weird? And I like even tweeted about this. I was like, do you really think that, like why do you don't need to know step 1 through 100?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you think you need to know that? Why do you need to be so certain of how to do it? Because when you go to college, you don't know what you're going to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know how hard you're going to have to work until you do it. And it's like, when people want to start their own business, I'm like, do you really think you're that stupid to not just actually like adapt and make new changes in your business? Like, do you really think that, oh shit, I went bankrupt. Like I got to start over. Like, you don't think you're going to be like, well, damn, that ad, let me take a look at it. Wow, that looks like it was made by a 2-year-old. I should probably redo that and then maybe rerun it or something. Or the content creation, you're going to look at it and be like, wow, it looks like they didn't even try and these hooks are horrible. And it's like, that's the reason. Like, that's like, you're going to come up with these solutions as they come up. And I think so many people are scared to like start because they think they have to know it all and they don't think they're going to become adaptable. But it's like, you look at these college kids who grind and study and spend hours and hours of learning how to do something. And it's like, you realize if you just apply that same method into your own business, you don't need to know step 1 through 100. You need to know step 1. Yeah. You know step 1, just like you would pay money to go take a fucking class. Mm-hmm. They're going to say, hey, here's your homework. You're going to go and study that. Mm-hmm. What do you think you do with business? You're going to launch something. You're going to get 0 sales. And you're like, well, shit, that's my homework. How do I produce more sales? How do I market better?
Exactly.
Boom. I'm going to study how to do that. Mm-hmm. Now I make money. So it's just, it confuses me. Like, I view it now where I'm like, why are you so scared about like step 100? Yeah. And like, you haven't even done step 1. And like, do you really think that low of yourself to the point like you're an idiot? Like you think you're an idiot because you can't overcome anything. Yeah. But you go to college and you spend thousands of dollars. Yeah. That's what I don't get in the loans. Oh my gosh. It's like 18-year-old, I saw this guy talk about it. He's like 18-year-old comes up to a bank. Hey, I have this business plan, whatever. This is what I'm going to do. And it could be $1 million idea, right? Can I get 25,000 startup? No, you can't. 18-year-old comes up. Hey, I want to study a finance degree. I need $200K. Can I get a loan for that? 100%. Yeah. Like they'll give student loans.
Once again, that should tell you right in itself how much of a fucking scam college is.
Maybe it's not $200K. You go to, but like you're spending like 50K.
Even if it's the same amount, $25K for a business loan, $25K for a student loan.
How much was a year for tuition at?
With my scholarships, I think like a full year was like, I don't know, 4,000.
Okay, well, without scholarships, what do you think?
Oh, without was like 20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Some people pay full price too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had. I'm not a fucking smart kid when it comes to grades.
How did you get this scholarship?
It was a bunch of like in-state, and then like I had a pretty decent GPA because I got expelled from school in high school, and I got put in an alternative school, and that boosted my GPA because I fucking cheated on everything. Well, it like on purpose.
I forgot
though.
You got kicked out.
No, on purpose though. My alternative school teacher was like, yeah, I want y'all to get good grades. Like, y'all need to do good here and impress the principal. So she would let us fucking cheat.
Oh, wow.
And
hey, props to her. She's trying to give you a leg up.
If this gets out to the school, like, I don't think she's there anymore. But, yo, make sure to check up on her. I mean, she was a G. She literally boosted my GPA for me to save money on college because we went through it all. She was like, you need to do this to get this, what's it called? Scholarship. For
those teachers are amazing.
Yeah,
it's like
she was a gangster.
Yeah, that's
not gonna
awesome.
cap. She was pretty great
because they went through the system and like fuck this.
Yeah,
they're like trying to teach other people not to do what they did probably, and it's like it's just crazy to me.
Yeah,
but yeah, 20K, like upwards of 20K a year. Damn.
Yeah, that's so much, dude. Holy fuck. You know what's crazy is I would actually like argue sometimes that like so in school there's only one right answer, right? Like math, science, English, I guess. I don't know. I guess there's only like one. Yeah,
philosophy and stuff and everything. There's multiple answers, but
yeah, but like for the most part, like when you take a test, there's one right answer. But what's unique with business is that there's multiple right answers. So that's what also confuses me with when people are like, "Oh, I don't know how to figure it out," and I'm like, I mean, do you think most business owners have it figured out? Everyone's like, your solution's completely different from my solution.
Nike didn't just like make a shoe company and everybody bought it. And like, oh, it's a cool check mark.
Yeah,
let's buy that. And that's a brand. And that's like, the owner went bankrupt.
Yeah,
he literally made. I love this. He went bankrupt to the point like he had to pay his employees, and he couldn't. I don't know if you read the book or anything. He couldn't pay his employees, and so you know what he did? This is, again, he's not a fucking idiot. He learned how to adapt. He reached out to the manufacturers, and he's like, hey, you guys need to pay my employees because if not, we will no longer manufacture from you and we'll lose a lot of money. So he used another business to pay everybody's salary, and when they went red, so in the next month they came back, made sales, and they stayed manufacturing and went over. So he literally made somebody else pay for his salary and his job to stay open. Isn't that crazy? He just asked him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a cool story. Wild. Yeah, pretty cool story. And it's like, damn, you think they teach that in school?
Yeah, absolutely
like,
not.
You think that they teach that?
You know, because that entrepreneurship class that I went to, I didn't go to much class with that class especially. I went like maybe once a week. I like the whole time I would go, we would learn about like how to manage like managers, and I'm like, motherfucker, none of us even have a business plan. Like, why are we learning about managing managers? Yeah,
what's my step one? What should I even sell, and how should I go about even starting to sell? You know what's crazy? I think people struggle with, how do I even start step one? Yeah. Because I don't think anybody knows how to start. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you can always just say, just fucking start, but I don't think that's always the answer.
Yeah, and the whole time I was in there, I'm like, when are we going to get to the good stuff? I'm like, how do I get rich? Like, the whole time in that fucking lecture hall, this big-ass hall, it was fucking huge, like 400 seats. Yeah. The whole time I was sitting there with my notebook, all right, so when's the slide going to pop up? How do I get rich? That's I was waiting for that because I had to take 3 years of fucking bullshit electives to get able to take this class, and I'm like, this is the class where I'm going to get rich. This is it. This is my way out. And it never came up on the slide. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm learning about bullshit stuff that I don't even know how I'm going to do because I don't even know what my business is going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's like starting step one.
Yeah, it's a good thing you said starting about step one because there are a lot of gurus out there who say mentorship programs are a scam. Don't buy their courses, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that is the solo-handedly best fucking way to start is buy a course. And let me tell you why. Because one, you're going to know what step one is. They literally give you the step one plan. And that's the hardest one, is to find out what step one is. They give you step one. Yeah. But on top of that, you paid money for it. So now you're in a pickle where it's like, okay, let's say the course was $1,000. Okay, fuck. I just lost $1,000. However, he gave me all the steps to obtain all my money back and more. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put in the steps that he said I should do to make my money back. And that's how you do it. The people that say it's a scam, please do not listen to those people. Me and Ian would be fucking broke right now if it weren't for online courses. Well, we would probably figure out something. But, however, we would be a lot more behind.
I would have never, actually, if I'm honest, if I didn't get introduced into the first mentorship program I was in, I would have 100% never started my online coaching business. I would have thought it was impossible. Like, honestly.
Same.
And then I was like, damn, is that really all to do? And then I said, screw it. I don't care how people view me. I don't care if I annoy people. I don't care. I just didn't care. Yeah. I don't know I was on prep, so like my mental state. You were
really.
I just didn't care. I was like so sick of my life, and like
you were like fuck it, and then I was like, I'm already fucking poor. I may as well.
And so I was like, at least I have step one, and so I just implemented. I tried it, and I started making sales, and I was like, what? I'm like, this is crazy. Like I literally just made $5,000 in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that doesn't happen very often. I'm going to be honest. Like, that was definitely, you're going to have moments in business where you hit a grand slam. Alex Hormozy talks about, like, they say it so right. But
he's so good at speaking.
Business and marketing, everything is like playing baseball. You can load the bases, and the difference is that you have unlimited outs. You can keep on swinging. So all your bases can be loaded consistently, and you can keep on swinging until finally one connects, and it's a grand slam. And he's like, you'll win so big. It's not even funny. And then everything opens. That is what happened to me. My first breakthrough was I just somehow, I don't even know what I did, but everything was aligned perfectly, and I swung and I hit, and I was like, damn, I literally can make this my full-time thing. And I mean, I learned a lot. A lot, but it's crazy. It is definitely crazy, like how it starts. But you just need to know step one, and spending money on mentor classes is key. Good advice.
So the next thing we wanted to talk about was taking advice from the right people, as we kind of touched on mentors a little bit. So, and this is some advice. I know our audience is a little bit younger than us, so I want y'all to really understand this as taking advice from people you aspire to be like or look up to, because we are pushed on, like, in our society to look up to people we may not aspire to be like. I'll give you a good example here. Is Lil Nas X. I don't think anyone with a brain aspires to be like him. With him twerking on the devil, him making out with the devil, and ultimately him just doing degenerate shit, I don't think anyone really aspires to be like him. However, people will listen to him. So just some advice is listen to people and take advice from people who you aspire to be like or look up to in a way. Because I wish I would have gotten that advice when I was a lot younger. Take it away, Ian.
Take it away. No, I think that's really key. And it's crazy. I feel like a lot of people want to do that, but they're scared to express who they are to people around them. Like, hey, I like this person. Shoot. Like, even talk about Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I think he has a great message. With a lot of things he says. I think media I don't really like to get into politics and stuff. I'm a very middle person, I feel like, when it comes to things, because I just think logically. And I think for the most part, I listen more than I actually just spew out my mouth and like throw up. A lot of people just throw up. You say Andrew Tate, instantly. The people don't like him. He's a misogynist. It's like, okay. All right. Like, do you even know what you're saying? Like, you literally have no idea where I'm going with that. People just puke out. Once they hear a name of somebody or anything, they just puke out the most hateful things about that person. And to me, that just shows of how stupid and low quality that person is, and they can't actually think for themselves. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, you can have your opinions, but why don't you express your opinions in a very like mannered way? Like you're very like professional. Maybe you have facts and you have reasons, and not just like out of emotion. Like emotion is the worst way to argue with anybody. Mm-hmm. You literally look like an idiot. If you argue with emotion, you look stupid. Mm-hmm. And people think that's like the only way to get points across. And I'm like, you literally look like you put cotton balls in your ears and you're just saying whatever's in your brain. And then like you can't even form words because you're a fucking idiot. Like that's it. Like, you're not even intelligent enough to actually say meaningful words. And so, do I agree with like the way he portrays it? No, I mean, he comes off, I guess, egotistical, but I feel like you also have to, whenever you have any type of social media presence. And that's what's with anybody, Trump, Biden, any politician, any celebrity, they're going to come off egotistical because Elon Musk even, it's like, they are above us. Yeah. Like like he's trying to influence, and you don't influence from being a loser. You influence from being a leader. Exactly. And in order to be a leader, you have to separate yourself from everybody and be okay with taking criticism. And so I don't think people realize that. And so, like, I mean, I'll respect other leaders that maybe I don't agree with. Like, sure, whatever. I don't like what they stand for. The only time I get very annoyed with anybody is when they just start, like I said, puking out words. They think on emotions. They don't open up their 2 ears and actually listen to what's being said. All they do is just say. And it's like, you're just childish, and I can't even have a conversation with you because you're a fucking idiot. Like, I hate having conversations with people like that because it's just like they have no point. They say whatever the media has been told to them or whoever told them. They have no actual background or research or articles or anything they've read. All they've seen, they read the headlines. They don't read actual information. And I think what's a really good example is this guy walks around and he has 2 quotes, and they're both from Andrew Tate.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that video.
And he'll tell people, and like, hey, this is a quote from Andrew Tate. This is how he views women. What do you think? And they said a quote like, yeah, he's misogynist. And then like, oh, this is a quote from somebody else. What do you think about that? And then it was like a really, whatever he said. It was like,
I think it was
women are the most beautiful thing in the world. They're like, oh, that guy, I would be with him. Like, he's a great guy. They're like, that was Andrew Tate too, right? And it's like, that's just the case in point. Like, I don't know. It's just, I hate whenever
that one guy opened up, dude. A lot of people's eyes are opening now. They're like, oh, wait a second. That's actually so true. The media does kind of like spew him in a bad way. And we're not going to sit here and like, me and Ian both agree with a lot of things Andrew says. There
are things I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't like the way he says it. Cause I don't think that's not the person who I am. And that's not the type of person. Like, I wouldn't go around and say certain things that he would say and feel that confident myself in it. Cause it's not something I think is right. Like, I don't think it speaks highly.
But at the same time, again, and you kind of have to be a little bit like narcissistic in a way to influence a large number of people.
You have to be full of yourself.
Yeah. And like, this is going to come off as pretty egotistical, but like, I'm starting to feel that way. I'll be honest. Some things I say, I'm like, I really agree with this, but I have to say it in this way because I'm trying to impact a fuck ton of people. Yeah. So I kind of have to say it this way, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Some people aren't okay with that, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But it really just depends on the like how much of an impact you want to have. And like you said, I don't think people really understand that. If he comes off as egotistical or narcissistic and you're like, he's just egotistical, it's like, okay, if you weren't that successful, would you not be? And the thing is like the people that say no,
that's a lie. It's a lie. You don't even know because you've never had that much money. You've never had that much power. It's like, it's not even that you're egotistical in the fact of like, you feel higher than everybody else. It's just like, you are just in such a further step of life. The way, like, your perceptions of problems to to also solutions is totally different than somebody else, because that person is so restricted in like their life, where that the very wealthy person and the person who's like egotistical, they've already overcome it, and they're like, no, like that's not how you go about it. That's not how you go overcome that problem. Like, they've already been through it multiple times. So they're not they're not an idiot. They're not speaking off of emotion. They're speaking off of experience. And so I think that's the difference.
I can give them like a pretty good example. So for me and Ian, for example, so let's say some person works in, a regular job, makes like $50,000-$60,000 a year, whatever. But is still, work for someone else. And they bring us like a problem, like a very, very small problem that like we have faced tons of, and it's just like another day in the ring.
Yeah.
Like,
but then they get so worked up about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to give like a good example where it's like something that we deal with like basically every day. We're like, what?
Okay, I got one. It's just like, honestly, it's step one. So it's like people are like, what they'll do is they say, I want to do this, but like they don't have to worry about that. I'm like, dude, you're trying to worry about things that have never even happened, and you don't even know if they're gonna happen. So then I'm sitting there and I'm like Asher and I aren't scared to do new things. Like, I'm not scared to go buy mentorship and like actually like do something new and be like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm gonna try it out. Like, I'm gonna do it. Like, there's no, I'm not gonna fail. I'm only gonna fail if I give up. So like, I think sometimes for us to understand other people, when we hear them say like complain about the littlest things of like example, how to start step one, or it's like, wait, you just start. Like, it's very logical. It's like you just do it. And I think it's very hard because it's like, I don't get what you're saying, because I really think it ties to emotion more than like, you need to start thinking logically and not emotionally. And that comes with everything in life. Shoot, even I hate talking to people about politics because you bring it up. And it's like, they're like, I just want to have a good conversation with you. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. Like, this is what I believe. And then, like, once politics are brought up, everybody's, like, so emotional about it. They're like, well, this. And it's like, okay, so you just said that. So what about these other people who feel this way about that? And they have the same perception of the views of, like, freedom of speech and whatever it is. It's just like, they have the same views and same rights. And it's like, no one's better than another person. Everyone's equal. So it's just weird because I think we just listen more than we actually talk. And so we hear the full sentences. We're like, wait, what's the actual issue? Like, what are you actually like worried about? And then we say, and then we'll like reiterate, okay, so you're scared to start step one because you think that you're worried about the clients, like when they come in, how are you going to handle more than 20? And it's like,
wait, you got a client? Well, no. How are you going to get rich if you're fucking doing that shit?
So so I'm like, well, don't you think you should actually like start off with getting a client first and then coaching them and seeing how that works? Like, don't you think that would be more logical rather than feeling like you're going to get 20 people off rip and it's going to be a horrible program? Because, I mean, that's what happened to me. But I did also have my sister. Like,
we got fucked.
But it's like, I'll tell you what, that first month of coaching, I changed so many things.
Yeah,
like it was just like
awesome.
So like that's like an example is people think it's very emotional. Like, okay, well, what if this happens in the business when I have this amount of people or I made this amount of money? It's like, have you even made $1 or a sale yet? Have you even marketed once? Have you even like talked about it once? No. So how do you know that's even going to happen? Because what if you create a great program, you get in 100 people and you can manage that, and then you can manage another 100 people or whatever. You get a bunch of sales and it's like going smoothly. You don't know. You can't test the ship like at all if it has any holes in it if you don't just let it go. It's just weird.
Yeah, no, that's a really good example because me and Ian will get approached decently a bit because I think me and you actually come off as like, we'll fucking do whatever. Like, we just want to fucking make it.
I'm not scared anymore. I used to be really scared.
Yeah, I used to be scared too. I used to be really scared about
limiting beliefs. Yeah. I was like, but now we're like, we've already overcome. We're like, dude, you just have to, like, there's no other way to say it than you just have to do it. Like, that's it. Like, just do it. And everything will unfold.
Yeah. And people will come up to us and try and get our advice. And then, like, they'll be like, yeah, but, and it's funny because after the conversation, me and Ian will like look at each other and we're like, yeah, he's not going to start. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's
remember
true.
what happened last week with, I'm not going to say, but yeah, we both looked at each other and we're like, fuck, yeah, they're never going to start. And it's like, because you kind of just know when it's like that, but it's like, yeah, they're just comfortable, whatever. On to the next one. You're wasting my time.
Oh, yeah.
And
don't say but.
Yeah.
Like, never say but. Like, if you say but, it's because you're just thinking of the worst thing that can happen, and you're trying to talk yourself out of it and be like, well, that's the reason why. It's like, that's not the reason why. You're just too, like, you think things are going to happen, but you have no idea.
Yeah.
And it is. And I think it's very challenging for us to sometimes, like, talk about, like, not talk about it, but actually, like, understand why they think that way, because we don't think like that way too much anymore. Mm-hmm. I think some things we do for sure.
Yeah. But that's what kind of ties it back to, like, what we were saying at the start, which is, like, we kind of have to be a little bit, like, not have to be, but, like, we are a little bit egotistical in some stances. So it's like, we do have, like, an ego when people tell us about, like, a business proposal that they want to do, and they tell us a bunch of fucking hypotheticals, and we're like, dude, why don't you just, like, me and Ian have already put everything on the line multiple times.
Still am.
And we still are, basically on a month-by-month basis with a bunch of other shit. And we're just like, why are you bringing us this problem? We do this basically every day.
Well, it's just like, don't bring a problem and not listen to solution and want to imply. Like, Alex Ramosi said actually really, really well. I know I record him a lot, but he's just so smart. He literally says everything that's in my brain before I think about it. But he was like, he's like, the most successful people will take what you told them and implement it that same day. Mm-hmm. Like, the solution. They will not question. They will just do it and try. And he's like, those people will be the most successful because
they try the most shit.
And they try the most shit. They also, like, listen and they don't say but. And it's like, we understand. Like, when you ask somebody for advice, I guarantee the person you're asking for advice, like, they have probably already thought about every but you're going to say and, like, how it's going to play out. Exactly. And it's like, no, like, you just need to focus on this and that's it. Like, that's all you need to focus on. Mm-hmm. So you need to listen to it. Now, I also, like, when it gets to these topics, I'm not all knowing. I don't know everything. Yeah. So it's like, take this advice as how you want. If it fits you and you feel like it's being spoken to you, awesome. But if not, maybe you're higher level than I am. Who knows? Yeah. But it's like, just do it. Just, like, I don't even know. It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
So when people kind of say Andrew is narcissistic or egotistical, it's like,
oh, that's what I was gonna say next. Yeah, go.
I like when people say that, I'm like, well, yeah, why would he not be? Like, I respect it.
You have to be, like, in order to run any business, but also, like, do anything extraordinary / putting yourself out there, you have to be so confident in yourself and your beliefs.
Yeah.
That it's like, you can't unhinge because someone has a different belief about you. Like, you can't, like, stop what you're doing, like, or fear that, or have any type of, like, just worry about that, because if you do, well, you're never going to get started because you're so worried about that. But you have to have confidence is how you have to just be very confident in yourself and the way you preach things. And the times that my business does bad is because I'm not confident in myself.
Yeah.
And I think I just got out of, like, a couple months span of, like, I wasn't confident in myself. I was just, like, down. A lot of things happened, which is kind of weird though, because I had my best months. But I'm really consistent. I think I just have a lot of discipline and, like, what needs to get done. I get it done no matter how I feel. But how I felt, I didn't feel confident in everything. Yeah. So now I think going to the end of the year, I'm like, I just feel like this past month, I've had very high level of confidence. I know what I'm preaching. I feel like my vision is definitely more clear.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. I don't like it when it just doesn't sit right with me when people like, he's too narcissistic or egotistical. It's like, we just had Mason on the podcast. He has a fucking crazy offer. Shit's amazing.
Yeah.
he kind of has to be a little bit narcissistic about it to be confident in what he's selling.
I felt like a freaking
I felt
peasant.
like a fucking bum talking to him.
Yeah, I'm like,
you know?
wait, you really want to join our podcast? Like, you're like super nice.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. He's really, really, really nice. However, when it comes to what he's selling in business, fuck yeah, he's narcissistic about it. Why would he not be? If he's like, yeah, I kind of think it works. Like, no, you got to be all fucking in. And that's the same thing with Tate. It's like, my fucking university teaches more about money than any university on the whole entire planet.
You know, be a good sorry, go ahead.
If he says, yeah, my university is just as good, no one's going to buy that fucking shit. That's his offer. It's, my university is better than any university on the planet, and it's only $50 a month. And people still say it's a scam, which is funny to me. And that's the same thing when it comes to both of our brands. You know, with Embrace the Journey and Better Than Before, I preach a different message from what Ian preaches. However, I am super fucking narcissistic for the message that I preach because, one, I've done it, and two, I'm really, really confident with the offer that I have to offer my audience.
I think you're more hardcore than I am.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
I think I'm not as hardcore. I think I'm more...
I'm
very empathetic. I think I'm a very empathetic person.
I've also been behind the camera a lot longer than you have. I think that's going to change eventually with you.
I think it's starting to a little bit, but I talked to my mentor a little bit about it. He's like, you're just a very empathetic person. He's like, you're just you can relate to a lot of people.
I'm not, but that's also like that's also not what my brand stands for.
But yeah, and I think that also it ties what your brand stands for, but also like who you're gonna attract.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
Is super important as well. It's like super important to have figure out what you do, what you are best at, and just nail that down. But I want to say what would be a really good topic, maybe even next week, would be to talk about how powerful money is and why it's important. Because I was just talking to I was talking to Aaron about it actually in the car, and I was like, do you realize COVID, money is the most powerful thing in the world. One of the most, besides obviously deadly weapons. Have both of them. Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You literally can do whatever you want if you have guns and money. Are we allowed to say that on YouTube? Maybe not.
Guns, yeah.
So I was just talking about it. I'm like, the thing is, COVID proved a point. The government can control you if they can control your money. How can they control their money is they say you have to take this vaccine, and if you do not take the vaccine, you'll lose your job. What happened? Now, I'm not hitting on the vaccine. I don't care.
This is going to lead on to next week.
This is a political thing, but this would be a good topic for next week. Is talk about as how powerful money is, and if you can learn how to create it yourself, you will never rely on anybody else again, and then you can actually start inspiring other people because you will never be hindered by a government or bank or by money, not being able to go do things. So
we will start that
topic
next.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
So it was just something that came up. We were talking about. I was like, money is the most. If you learn how to make millions of dollars, or you learn how to make a lot of money that you don't need to worry about anybody else paying you, or even if you want structure and a really good job, work for somebody who you align with. They pay you a fuck ton of money, and they don't push their beliefs or the government. They're self-sufficient too. That's a really good way to. So you're more of an entrepreneur rather than an entrepreneur. If you don't want to own your own business, which is another great thing. But you have to understand where your money is coming from. And if you understand where your money is coming from, you will you'll know if you'll be controlled or not. And COVID was just it just proved it.
We'll talk about it next episode because we got.
Now I'm getting hyped, but that would be such a good topic.
We'll talk about it next episode. If y'all want to tune in, we are now on Spotify as well. Check the description down below. Make sure to follow us on there and share that with all of your buddies. But that is episode 21. We don't ask for likes, comments, or subscribers. We just ask for you to share this video with someone that
would pull value from it.
Yeah, that would get some value from it. And anything else, Ian?
No, I think that's it. Episode 21 is a good one. Next week's going to be freaking banger, so be here. And we will talk to you guys next time. Peace.